Hi, everybody, and welcome to Scuttlebutt, hosted by Cleo and Pearl. I'm Pearl. That's Cleo. And this is a space where people can talk openly about the issues of the day, the things that this country is going through, the things that you're going through that are being sort of imposed on you by our government. And I know that there are people around the world who are also being impacted by this, but we want to provide a place where people can just say what's going on for them, their perspective, ask questions, give their opinions without the fear of somebody putting them down or bullying them or saying that they're wrong, because there's just so much misinformation out there and so much information out there that nobody knows what to make of it. Um,
That's it. We're not here to judge anybody's viewpoint, and we're here to listen, and we're also here to provide an area to bring this information out about what other people think. We hear the news, we see the news, but we can't respond to that. And we know how difficult it can be sometimes to even mention this kind of stuff, at the family dinner or to your neighbors or your coworkers, because everybody has a little bit different opinion. That's what we want to know. That's what we want to hear from with you people. We want to hear your opinion, and we also would like to know where you're at in the world. Are you in a certain state? Are you in a certain country? That would kind of help us. But we're not going to be using any names or anything, but basically just providing a safe place for people to share their opinions and their experiences of how these different policies, different things that have changed with the Trump administration, and how it affects your life.
The way things change today in not just politics, but just current events in general, things are changing so rapidly that for a lot of people, it's hard to keep up. And that's another thing that a forum like this can be very useful for, is that you may be just still reeling and, worried about some certain thing that has been going on, and not even paying attention to other things that are going on that could be very impactful to you, or not. You may just have strong feelings about it, or reactions to it. So we want to make sure that people have a place where they can hear about what's going on, talk about what's going on, hear other people's points of view, and maybe understand more about what's going on by understanding that different point of view. You may not have anybody around you that expresses a completely different point of view, or you may have nothing but a different point of view and nobody supports your point of view. So we're hoping that by providing this forum, um, it will bring about some ease. It'll make you feel better to kind of get it off your chest, and also help you to learn. Now, we're not journalists. We're not experts of any kind, actually. We're just people. We just want to bring this stuff out. We're not doctors, we're not lawyers, we're not government people, we're not judges. We're just a couple of old girls that are thinking about stuff.
Thinking about stuff. There you go. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just, we want it to be the way this works is if you go to below this video, there's a section called comments, and you can put your comments, your opinions, your ideas, your experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, right there in the comments section, and we will be going through those comments. And then in the next show, we'll probably be talking about whatever other people are talking about. The other
Mhm.
thing is when you see something that maybe somebody else has already responded to, some idea that you have and they have too, please add to that. If we have multiple people saying the multiple same things, this is important.
Yeah. Yeah. So with all of that, Cleo, do you think we ought to go to one of our topics?
Sure, let's talk about birthright citizenship.
Ooh, that's a hot button topic.
And that is one that is right now before the Supreme Court. We don't expect to hear anything from them for another few weeks, maybe months. The way the Supreme Court's going, it could be forever. so, What Trump has said about birthright citizenship is that it is stupid for the United States to allow birthright citizenship.
Mm.
Now, this is something that has existed since 1868. It's Section 1 of Amendment 14 of the Constitution. And uh, right off the bat, I'm thinking, why would somebody think this was stupid? What this basically says is that all persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and the states where they reside. That doesn't sound stupid to me, and that there's millions of people that fall into this that are actually United States citizens, and
It's easy for you to say.
Trump wants to. He's going to the court and saying he wants to change it. Basically, let's see. Uh, where was
No.
it? Hold on here a minute.
Okay.
There's an out. Let's see.
Is this where he's saying that it's outdated and
Well,
exploited?
I just his argument to the court is what I was looking for.
Okay.
He wants to change the 14th Amendment and how it applies to. Excuse me. Let me just read this thing to you. He has taken this before the Supreme Court on the President's executive order seeking to change who the 14th Amendment applies to.
Oh,
He wants to say that just because you were born here doesn't make you a citizen. That is not that's not what we want going on. Also, he has also claimed that we are the only country that has this. We're the only country that allows people
mm,
born into the country become a citizen of this country. Uh-oh. Boo boo. No, no. That is
not
not true.
not true at all.
And
Not true at
let's
all.
talk about our neighbors. Canada has the same system.
Hmm.
Mexico has the same system. Argentina has the same system. We're coming to find that possibly maybe half the countries in the world have the same system.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, if you look at all of the Americas, North America, South America, Central America, the majority, if not all, of those countries do have birthright citizenship as a part of their laws.
and also think about, who do you know that falls into that category? Is that your neighbor? Is that a business owner? Is that a worker that you work with? Is it, there's so many people that have
Could
been
be your
born in this.
grandmother. I mean,
Right, it could be a family member.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that what he's saying, I know what he wants to do is make this retroactive. So just like the
Mhm.
immigrants, suddenly all these people would be, they just
Aliens,
wouldn't.
immigrants.
Yeah, they'd be aliens. And I don't know if he'd send them someplace. It's just, well, I don't know. This whole thing with the immigration is just, it's a disaster. But the thing with the birthright citizenship is not stupid, and I don't think, I mean, right now they are leaning towards that the Supreme Court will probably agree that it's not stupid and that they shouldn't really change it. If
Yeah,
they do change it, that's a whole nother subject. My opinion about the Supreme Court is not good anyway. I feel that it's that Trump owns the Supreme Court, that he's put in specific people in order to get different laws. If you've noticed, every time we turn around, one judge out of a state will say something, a federal judge will say something about some rule, and Trump will disagree, take it to the Supreme Court, and then get it his way.
mhm,
That, to me, that's just, well, it's wrong. It's wrong, and
yeah.
this falls into authoritarian rule. I would like to hear from anybody that says that this is a good thing, that Trump should get his way, that do we want this to happen, or from the people that don't want it to happen, the people that would especially affect their family directly. So this is just something that we're bringing up for a topic of discussion, and we'd really appreciate it if somebody put their input in about how they feel about it. One way or the other, it doesn't matter. We will represent both sides. We are the moderators here. We'll represent everything the way it comes to us. We're not passing judgment on anybody. And you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to disagree. It's irrelevant. It's what you
Yeah.
feel and how you want to take this. So that's one thing we want to talk about.
And I'm wondering, like, how is he going to get that information? I mean, because everybody's birth certificate is going to say that they were born in the United States. So how is he going to prove that?
Good point. I hadn't even thought of that.
Like, and I thought he had Doge like basically take all those records. So, who's the Einstein who's going to go through all of those records and try to filter out, well, let's see, this one, they got to look up each parent and see, well, where did they live at that time or something? How the hell are they going to
Well,
figure
and
this out?
how far back can you go? I
I
mean,
guess he can go back as far as anybody is alive. So I guess he could go back 100 years or more if he wanted to.
well, because that would make me an immigrant because
Me too.
my grandparents came from Germany and my other grandparents came from Poland, I think.
Yep.
Uh, oh, and by the way, Colleen is my sister. So my parents are her parents and my grandparents are her grandparents. So yeah, do you go back to, my grandfather came to the United States when he was 4 years old. Uh, he's a citizen of the United States even though he wasn't born here, and that was back in the 1800s. So yeah, how do they decide, or does it just become something that right now, if somebody from Mexico had a baby right now, would they be deported?
Well,
I
see, that's the thing is that I don't feel that there's a really good way to implement this plan if they do find that it's no longer a law. And the other thing is it just feels to me like it's just a trick to allow ICE to jump on people that they think are immigrants and, lock them up or deport them to God knows where. I mean, well, let's
And
admit it.
Pearl, I think you're right. I think that is part of the discussion amongst the people in the Supreme Court. They're asking the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where does this begin? Where does it end? And how does it, it doesn't make any sense. And so I
And
think
how
they're
does this make our country better? How
exactly.
does this serve our country in any way?
And make it safer. How does it make it
Yeah.
safer?
Yeah.
that well, that's the whole thing with the immigrants. Got to get rid of them because they've got to make it safer. Instead, what we've done is taken a lot of people out of the country that have, they're so important to us. These immigrants that have worked our farms, worked construction, put the roof on your house, done your yard work, um, you know, done a lot of manual labor that other people didn't want to do. They wanted to do something else. And so we've
Well,
had,
and the healthcare industry would just be is getting decimated
it
because of
is,
this. Just decimated. I
because
mean,
there's so many people that are either they
yeah.
have an accent or they have the wrong colored skin. There's
Mhm.
no such thing as wrong colored skin, but they're brown, so they must be from somewhere else, or they have an accent, or they look different.
Yeah,
So,
because Trump doesn't believe that Puerto Rico's the same country as us, or Hawaii, or what's those other Pacific Islanders that he just
it's
doesn't think
just
that that's the United States.
it's just amazing how he does that. And
Yeah.
also, did I already mention that the 14th Amendment became in existence, Article 1, in 1868? It's not like this something that somebody thought of in the last 40 or 50 years. This goes back way back to 1868 plus.
Which means that it was created by some old white guys. And
Yeah,
even
well,
they
it
thought
was
it was a good idea.
well, and he loves to go against the Constitution. He really actually wants to rewrite the Constitution. Please, the Constitution, there's not, it's amazing what our forefathers came up with for the Constitution. It's just amazing. And as far as it being, thinks it's outdated. Citizenship will never be outdated.
Yeah, I can think of a number of other things that are outdated, like being able to carry arms and muster a militia.
Well, I think it's that kind of outdated to have somebody that could have 34 felonies be president of the United States. I think that's an outdated thought. It's
Hmm.
amazing that that even occurred.
Hmm.
But that law will change one day too.
Yeah, it will. Okay, so do we want to go on to the next topic?
Yeah, sure. Let's go on to the
Okay.
next topic. Well, we could go to. I do kind of want to talk about this one thing. This won't take too long.
Okay.
Social Security.
Okay.
Elon Musk fooled around with our Social Security information and the department, and through his what was it called, Doge?
Doge.
Through Doge, he came up with a whole bunch of people that got overpaid by Social Security. Now, if
Were
you,
there was their name Elon Musk?
well,
He got overpaid.
and let's talk about this. How do you get Social Security? You sign up, you go to the office, they go through your work records to figure out how much you're supposed to get paid. They are the ones that decided what the amount was that you're supposed to get every month. Not you. You didn't do it. But even though you didn't do it, when Musk went through the records, Trump said, "Oh, well, they're going to have to pay it back." Do you know that's for a lot of people, their Social Security, that's it. That's what they're living on.
Yeah.
And when somebody says you've been overpaid and they have no idea what you're talking about, or even how long this has been going on, and they try to act like you are the criminal because you got overpaid. Finally, we didn't hear too much about this on the news, but over time, after a few people just literally panicked. I mean, when the government says you were overpaid $50,000 and we want it right now, and we're going to start taking it out of your check, which is the money that you live on every month.
Mhm.
Terrible, right? Panic time. So what the Social Security did is they looked at this thing and they said, you know what? This is unfair. We made a mistake. And they are trying to rectify the problem. A lot of people have uh, gone back to Social Security and had them look at their thing and they said, okay, you are going to be forgiven and you don't have to pay this back, which
Oh,
only
good.
makes sense. Social Security screwed up, not the people that were getting Social Security.
Yeah.
There's no way to trick Social Security into giving you
No.
more money.
No, that is so true.
You
Yep.
know, all your paycheck and your taxes that you paid in and your Social Security that you paid in, that's all in a record, and they have it all. And so I just want to say to the people that still might be trying to pay that off, and I'd love to hear from the people that are still being targeted for this payoff thing, because it should be turned around. You should be able to be forgiven on this.
Hmm.
I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know that Social Security has come up front and admitted their error. But I don't know if it's really been totally publicized. There's some people that may still be trying to pay off a debt that they don't really
Mm.
owe.
I wonder if people contacted some organization like maybe the ACLU,
No,
just
they need to just get a hold of the Social Security office, which that's a problem
okay.
also. There's
Okay.
long waiting lines.
Yeah,
They
'cause
have
they
eliminated
fired so many people.
Well, they've eliminated many offices, Social
And
Security
phone lines.
offices.
Didn't they eliminate phone lines?
I don't know. There's got
Maybe
to be
just
a.
offices. They closed offices and then all they had was phone lines or something. That's
It,
terrible.
it's just why do that in the first place? It was irrelevant. I mean, this is this cost saving measure of the Trump
You know,
administration.
these numbnuts, they are like the boys who pull wings off a fly. I mean, they are just so obsessed with torturing people. You know,
Really,
this is just the grown-up version of a very small child who gets fascinated and like I don't even go there, but I'll just stop at wings off a fly. It's just, it's just the mentality is just so off. Like
exactly,
it's so
exactly.
off. Yeah.
And a lot of people, they act like they're living in the lap of luxury by getting Social Security. No, 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 no.
Yeah, see, this was my second husband. He really thought if I wanted anything back from him, that I was on the verge of putting in gold-plated faucets in his whole house. When we went to get a divorce, he was just like, "She's just a gold digger. She just wants my money." And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "Dude, what yacht are you driving?" I mean, we're just we're just living in the suburbs. We don't have gold-plated faucets. Get
And you
over
both
yourself.
worked. You both worked.
We both work, and it's just like he was narcissistic too. So some narcissists just really get off on the cruelty, and they just feel like if anybody else gets something, that they're doing something wrong because they're the ones who should get it. And that's the Trump I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is the Trump. I know I said we wouldn't be bullies and we wouldn't put people down, but that administration, I gotta say, I think they're all a bunch of narcissists. I think they're all spent their childhood pulling wings off of flies.
And this is Pearl's opinion.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Entertainment purposes only. Yeah.
and so, anybody out there that has an opinion similar, we would love to hear from you.
Yes. We
Anybody
will.
that's still trying to pay back a debt to Social Security, we would love to hear from you. Please put your
Yes.
comments, your opinions, your ideas
Yes.
down in the comments section of this video, and we will definitely take a look at it. So, but that's what this show's about. It's about opinions. We could say stuff that might be just totally off the mark. We don't know. We're picking up information off the internet or off the 6 o'clock news. Not everything is not everything is wrong. Not everything is fake news. But
Mhm.
some of this stuff is just, especially when it gets into the current administration, it is so skewed. Skewed would be the
It
word
is. It
of,
is.
of
Yeah.
how they want you to look at things. So,
So what else do you want to talk about?
all right. The other thing we need to talk about just a little bit, because this will be coming up over and over again, is the tariffs.
Ugh,
Oh, here we go. And this is talking about open a can of worms.
yeah.
The tariffs have just they are going to bankrupt the country.
Well, I think they're succeeding, so they've achieved their
They,
goal.
I think they're working on it, yeah.
Yeah.
But you will. That's not what you hear, though. That's not what you hear in the
Oh no.
media. In the
No.
media, you hear stuff like, "Hey,
The Dow is at 50,000. Remember that? That
yeah,
was
right,
that was only last week. That was
yeah."
only last week that somebody sat in Congress and said that out loud. Only
But they
last
didn't say what it was a couple days before that when it went down. Trump is manipulating the stock market, and he is doing a job that I just can't believe how he's getting away with this. That is something the president is absolutely not supposed to be doing. But with his tariffs, all he has to do is say 100% tariffs on pharmaceuticals. And all of a sudden, the Dow goes, what? Oh, and it just bottoms out. Then he'll come back the next day and say, well, he hasn't done this yet that I know of, but, oh, never mind. 20% on pharmaceuticals. His thing about 100% on pharmaceuticals, I've been trying to figure it out. I still can't figure it out. Um, I can't think of a worse thing to add tariffs to. Life saving drugs.
yeah.
And he wants to add 100% tariff. So we're already, let's say your prescription is costing $200. Well, he's going to have it pay what, $400? Is that what 100% would be?
I guess, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I've never been great at math,
Me neither. Let's
but
let's not let's not go there. Let's just gloss over that part and just say it's 100% tariff.
but we know 100% tariff is absolutely ridiculous.
Like we said, folks, we are not expert at anything.
No,
We're just
we just got a lot of
blabbing out our
opinion,
opinions. Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
opinions.
Yeah.
So then the other thing is tariffs up in Canada. First of all, he is just. I'm very close to Canada. I'm in Seattle. I mean, Canada is just an hour's drive away. We love the people from Canada. They
Yeah.
are always so nice and so normal. and and Trump wants to make a big stink about things, so he puts this is terrible, a 50% tariff on steel. Steel, the things our cards are made out of. Steel, the things our appliances are made out of. It's also, I think it also involves maybe copper and aluminum and stuff, but mainly I'm
Mhm.
talking about steel right now
Yeah.
because the price of a car has gone up anywhere from, well, even the cars made in America, because the Americans got to get their steel from somewhere. I know what he's doing. He's trying to get the steel manufacturers to make steel for our cars in America. In America. Uh, Fine. But in the meantime, when you instantly put that kind of a tariff on it, and we're also paying tariffs for construction things, wood, things like that from Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, but they're different amounts of tariffs. It's a steel one that's really bugging me because your car can go up to almost $6,000 more,
Yeah.
$7,000 more.
And not just new cars. Think about car parts.
Oh, the car parts, yes.
Because nobody can sell a car and get rid of it and get a new one because I mean, most of the people that work for the United States government don't have jobs anymore, so there's huge unemployment there that they're not talking about. And if you got to keep using your car just to keep whatever shitty job you still have, then you got to buy parts. And if you're not buying them and putting them in yourself, you got to pay a mechanic to get those parts. They've got to get them from somewhere, and they're hard to get. They're hard. I mean, because
Because they're hard to get. They're not making as much. We're not importing as much
and
because
gas is so high that truckers are not bringing as much stuff around because they can't drive because
well, now
there's no
we're
gas.
talking about the war, we're talking about Iran, we're talking about a different subject, but yes, the price of gas is really really hitting the pocketbook hard,
Yes, it
and
is.
it's putting people out of business. The same with these tariffs, though. The tariffs are
Yeah,
putting people out of business.
yeah, they are.
It's
They're
just they can't keep up with it. They can't keep
no,
up with it.
no.
We could also,
Businesses are closing, which is causing more unemployment, which means that the whatever dollars you do have to stretch further. You know who I'd like to hear from? I'd like to hear from somebody who has been on unemployment since Doge kicked in. Are you still getting unemployment? I haven't heard about unemployment payments at all.
yeah, need me
But
neither.
yeah, because we're not hearing about the unemployed. But I mean, they put out hundreds of thousands of people out of jobs.
300,000 federal workers to date, supposedly.
I
it,
when I was doing my taxes, I was like, is there even going to be somebody to grab those off of the website and process them and get me my refund? I mean, what? What the what? I mean,
yeah, I mean, the federal workers, and again, you talk about people you want to hear from. I want to hear from those people. What in the world happened? How in the world you go to work one day doing a job that you're feeling good about? You're helping the federal government. You're
yeah,
helping the country
helping
by
the
doing
country.
a job,
Yeah.
and then they turn around and say, "You're out." No,
And the
instantly, you're out.
Yeah, and the years that it took to build up your expertise. I mean, it may not be a job where you needed a PhD to do it, or maybe it was. It didn't matter. They still fired you. They still let you go.
Well, they did give out a certain amount of severance packages and incentives they called it to get people to quit.
And by now, all of the money from that probably has been run through
Oh
because
yeah,
this is over a year ago, right?
yeah.
It started back in 2025. So I want to know, what did you do? Were you able to get another job?
Did you lose your house?
Yeah, did you
Did
lose
your
your house?
mortgage? You know, you couldn't keep
Oh,
up with the mortgage
God,
payments.
yeah.
You know, did you have to move your family somewhere? Did you move in with other family members because you
Yeah,
couldn't do anything right then and there?
yeah,
And what about the businesses around these buildings that had all these workers that were banking on you to come in and buy coffee and get your lunch and do your parking and all of that stuff? Are those people still around? Are those businesses still, are they hurting? Are they hurting? Yes, they are.
yeah,
Many
yeah,
went out of business.
yeah.
Um,
And I bet
the
the real estate industry around around Washington, D.C., it just completely flat.
Oh, and it's not just Washington D.C. It's federal across the country.
Oh, that's right.
It's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Everywhere. Oh God.
So,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
it's a major employer of in the United States. The US government is
yes.
like the biggest employer, isn't it? Or maybe
Yes,
almost. Or,
well, I don't know if it's the biggest,
I don't know
but
if it's a,
probably.
I'm gonna Google that. Folks,
Okay.
folks, I not only use the Google machine, but sometimes I use AI. I do. I do. I'm super lazy. I'm a little bit smart, but I'm super lazy. And I don't believe in working harder than I have to.
Well, and AI is just an amazing new tool. I
You do have
love
to
it.
be careful with it, though. You do have to be careful with it. And you
Well,
have to
hey.
read what comes back because not
Well,
all of it makes
okay,
sense.
yeah, not AI is not perfect, and some of the stuff it comes up with is not correct, but there's always ways to recheck that, get the facts. But for the most part, it's not only it's fun actually, but yeah, the federal workers. I'm thinking, oh my God, your families, your house, your cars, your where do you find a next job instantly? And I know that there's some people that did, and some people, that severance package saved them enough that they could spend a month or two out of work and still make things work. But on the other hand, I don't know anybody that's a federal worker that this has happened to. Again, I want to hear from you people. I want you to comment about what you have been through. How did this work for you? Did some people just, yay, no problem? Or did other people was like, oh my God, it just destroyed our lives for a while? Or
Yeah.
maybe it still is.
I looked up the largest US employers, and the largest US employer is Walmart.
Wow. Wow.
The next is Amazon. Now, I know both of those corporations have laid off a lot of people, especially
Yes, they have.
Amazon. You
Yeah.
know, Walmart, I don't think has been pinpointed by the American public as the evil giant that we should shun, but Amazon has. And then after Amazon comes the US Department of Defense, not the whole government, just the US Department of Defense. Get this, they employ 2.9 million personnel. God, that's a lot.
And I didn't want to bring it up, but that's another thing we could discuss is the new military spending by the government.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
You know,
But
we
but before we get off the
yeah,
employers,
let's not.
what I want to say, okay, then there's UPS, Target, and various healthcare systems. And what I wanted to say is that, the American people, I think, have been really kind of boycotting certain large retailers like Walmart, Amazon, Target specifically. I've been trying to get off of much of Amazon as I can. There's certain things that I not that I can't, but I just haven't figured out an alternative. And only really one product, my protein shakes. That's it. Everything else, I was getting vitamins, all my pet stuff. I was getting supplies for the house. I've found other providers that are just as good, in some cases saving myself even more money. But so Amazon I'm really coming off of. Uh Walmart, I haven't had to boycott because I don't go to Walmart very much. I only found a few things that I could get at Walmart or Target that, so I don't feel like I have to boycott them because I don't pull into their parking lot very often at all.
Why are you down on Amazon?
Uh,
Or
be-
why maybe a lot of people are. I'm not familiar
because
with
of the
this.
way they treat their employees, first of all, but also because of Jeff Bezos' support of the Trump administration.
Ah, oh, okay.
He also owns the Washington Post. And if you've noticed, the media, you just can't trust the media. They don't print the truth anymore.
That's true.
They just don't. You have to go. I go to mainly to I started looking at Substack. I'm just so lazy. I don't read all this stuff. Like I get newsletters and stuff that I subscribe to for news that I feel like might be more truthful, and I still don't take time to read it. I really rely on um, certain channels on YouTube, um, ground news that I get as a newsletter. I just read the bullets. I don't even read the whole articles. And some on Substack. That's all I do.
And so Pearl, by her own admission, is a genuine slacker.
I am. Well, no, I mean, we do YouTube, and also I work a full-time job, and I'm old. I'm tired. I don't have the energy that I used to have.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's with the retailers. But I do want to know about unemployed people. What
Well, I want to know about the federal workers. I
federal
can't.
workers, what
When I
the
first
heck
heard
is
that, and that they're shutting down all these departments,
yeah.
it's just, I just couldn't believe it. It
The
started off.
forestry department. I know several people who work for the forestry department, and now they're going to be out of jobs. Maybe, I mean, if they're so unlucky as to get their jobs cut, which they probably will. I mean, from what I read, it was just a real slash and burn of forestry services. That's terrible.
Well, I'm glad you bring this up because I just happen to have some information, not about the forestry services, but about USAID, which is
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
that's the very first one we heard about actually. That this was
Hmm.
he was going to stop doing that, and we were just like, what? Why? What does this have to do with the American dream and keep America great? And you know, it was a shock. But he just totally dismantled it, and a lot of people have died because they're not getting the aid that they got before.
Hmm.
It's also one of those things that after it first comes out and things start going downhill, suddenly it's not in the news anymore.
Nope.
Only that this thing happened, but it's not happening now. You
No.
don't hear about it.
No. Do you
Again,
do you remember in the 60s, um, our Uncle Charlie?
oh,
He
I wasn't
worked
alive in the 60s. Kidding.
oh shit. Okay. Um, so our Uncle Charlie worked for CARE, and he gave each one of us, he purchased um a sponsorship of a child in CARE.
Oh,
You don't remember this?
I do not.
Well, I guess you didn't follow up on it very well.
No,
But
I didn't. I
But
didn't.
it was kind of cool. But it was sad. It was heartbreaking though, because you learned the story of this child, and he did it for a year on behalf on in well for mine in my name, and then if I wanted to continue it, I could continue it. And I think I did at first, but I didn't keep it up. And it was just sending some money that was dispersed monthly so that that kid could do like not just food, but that they could have like some clothing, shoes. They could, attend school because they'd get more food, and then just a few school supplies. But it was heartbreaking to see what they did not have. Now, these were people living in countries where they didn't really need to live the way we do in the United States, where we have like cold weather and things like that. It was a more warmer climate, but that was the only, I mean, it was very, very rural. We have that in the United States. And to see how these children were living was just like, wow, I mean, it was a real eye opener. Is that your phone?
It's a submarine.
Oh my God. Are you under attack? My sister lives, like she said, the Pacific Northwest, so very close to the Pacific Ocean. So you don't know. There could be shit happening at any time.
Actually, no, it's my phone making submarine sounds. That's what
Okay.
that's what it reminds me
Okay.
of. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, but USAID, I was that was a gut punch, and that was one of the first ones and I think for a lot of people that was a big gut punch because later when I was older, I worked for our Uncle Charlie, and I was aware of what these things were, and the American public, I think we all just became kind of used to the fact that we did these things, and all of a sudden not doing them was devastating to the world. Devastating.
Well, then there was also big cuts to the USDA. That's the Department of Agriculture. They had a 50% staff reduction
Oh,
because God knows that we don't need that. What? Then the Social Security Administration had the largest annual decline on record. So people lost their jobs, offices were shut down. People in some areas are forced to go maybe 50 miles to try to
yes.
find a Social
Oh,
Security office. The Department of Education was dismantled. Now,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they still have a building for that or if it's just gone. I know that all the people,
I
if
think
they.
it's just gone because they were trying to sell the building at one
Oh,
point.
okay. So they don't even have a skeleton crew. So
No, but the Department of Education didn't really run schools. It ran programs that would subsidize programs in the states for schools, which have all been decimated because of the ending of the U.S. Department of Education. Thank you, that woman who ran the WWE, whatever the hell her name is. I'm
and
going
then
to look
the
it up.
um, And also, getting back to the federal workers, there was approximately 300,000 federal workers, or around, it's only 15% of the workforce. I do not believe these figures. I think it was more. Um, and the reason that the government decided to do this and to shutter everything, and lay people off and stuff, it was a unitary executive theory that they said there was if inefficiency and cost savings was part of it, and they claim that they will be saving $1 trillion in the long-term savings by annihilating all of these things. What is more important, money or aid? Money or somebody looking over all the things we're eating and stuff? The Department of Agriculture is so important. Yeah, let's reduce that because we need to save money. Social Security again. Let's save money by eliminating that, and I'm pretty sure that this will filter out into Medicaid, Medicare, health insurance, so many other things that they claim as we needed to get rid of this. We just don't need this anymore because it costs too much money. In the meantime, while that's costing too much money and so they're going to remove it and it doesn't, I don't see the government must be have a big stockpile of money, a big savings
Oh yeah, from
account.
the tariffs, they're just rolling in it. They're
Well,
just
not just from the
rolling it.
tariffs, not this, they're not having to pay for all these buildings, they're not having to pay for all these employees. All these departments have been either annihilated or down to a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just going on about all these different things that it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why did they
Um,
think those departments ever existed in the first place?
well,
It's
because
to
they're idiots and they're all narcissists and they want to pull the wings off flies like 6-year-old boys, and they have something wrong with them. They just do. They have something wrong with them. I got to tell
I
you.
think that's letting them off the hook.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's just letting them off the hook. Yeah, give them an
Well, and
excuse.
they are criminals. I mean, you know that our dear leader confiscated all the oil and monies or whatever he grabbed from Venezuela and put it in his own bank account. I mean,
No, I
all this
didn't know
stuff.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, all the stuff. Uh, any gifts or anything that he got when he was in the Middle East after he got that airplane from Qatar? He got a whole
400
bunch of
million.
he got a whole yeah, but he got a whole bunch of gifts from other countries too. He just put those all in bank accounts for himself. And but was mistaken about the Department of Education. It is not entirely closed. He wrote an executive order in March of 2025 to initiate as AI puts it, the dismantling of the Department of Education.
Yeah.
There is a legal challenge. It ordered the reinstatement of employees laid off. It's been significantly reduced, but not entirely dissolved. And yeah, that's where we're at. So it's just hanging on by a thread.
Okay. So
Which begs the question, why the hell do we need Linda McMahon as Secretary of Education? Why the hell is she pulling a salary which is probably equal to all the budget of the entire Department of Education in general? Why? Why does she get a job?
Pearl, I don't know the answer to
God,
that, but
I just get a
uh
little angry sometimes.
so we've covered a couple different areas.
Hmm.
And that's we're getting near the end of the show here for this, but we're trying to give you an idea of where we're going with these things, and we'll keep bringing these things up. We want to hear from people, and also since this is a brand new show and we have no subscribers, please subscribe to our show because it'll make it so that we can keep coming on here and creating a nice environment for other people to express their opinion. I want those people to be heard. The people that have definitely suffered through things and stuff, I want you guys to be heard. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know what happened. I want to know where you're at today. We can all sit around and bitch and moan about the Trump administration or the Republicans or something.
Eric Swalwell,
I
we
mean,
can just
I
sit and
know
moan,
they're complaining. They're saying it's all the Democrats' fault, and the Democrats are, I don't know what the
saying it's all their fault. Yeah.
sort of, you know. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in finding out how people are doing and what's going on and what they would like to see happen. So please put in your comments, and we will continue to do this. Like I said, it's the first show. Like, subscribe to this channel.
Give it a
It
thumbs
doesn't
up.
it doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you nothing, except you do have to be a well, I don't know if you have to be do you have to be a YouTube? Do you have to have a YouTube account to subscribe? I don't think so.
Yes to subscribe, I think.
We should have probably looked this up before I
This
said
would have been a good
anything.
idea. I'll use the old Google machine here.
Yeah, find out for me so we can give them the right information. But yeah, this is we're gonna we're gonna use your discussions. Right now we're just pulling.
No, you can technically subscribe to a YouTube channel without a Google account.
That's what I thought.
The subscribe button, then it says the subscribe button requires a sign in. However, you can use third-party tools like RSS feed, FreeTube, or NewPipe to track channels or manually bookmark channel URLs without logging in.
But in order to comment, you do have to have a YouTube account.
That's right.
And
That's
that
right.
is that's all. This is all free. Subscribing is for free.
The
Liking the
Google
channel
account
is
is
for free.
free.
The Google account is free. The Google account will automatically give you a Gmail account. That's a free email account. You
Hmm.
can use it or not. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter. But
Hmm.
that name will come up when you make a comment in a YouTube anybody's channel, a
Hmm.
YouTube program, that it'll come up with your Gmail account.
Yeah, whatever
So,
goofy name you created, that's what's going to come
and I
up.
say make it a goofy name because
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, acorns are free.
And you also get an opportunity to have your own channel if you want it. You don't have to use it, and all of this stuff is for free. So
Mhm.
if you haven't done that already, I know millions and billions of people have done that, and so we definitely want to hear from everybody. And so we don't want you to be eliminated just because you don't have a YouTube account because it's just so simple and easy. And like I said, you go to google.com, up in the right hand corner, click on that, and it'll give you instructions on how to get through this. So
Mhm.
to get your account. So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much.
Thank you.
you
Mwah,
know,
mwah, mwah. We love you.
we're really we that since there's no advertising for this yet, we'd be just amazed if anybody shows up. But I hope you do, and we'll just keep doing this until something good happens out of it. That's what I'm hoping for. So thanks again, and we will see you soon.
Bye.